So how far can one truly experiment with musical technicality? It's a question we've seen come up time and time again, and as the years go by, I've began to ask the question, what can possibly come out next at this point? With the wide spectrum of never-ending internet music artists sprouting up each and every day trying to create something so abstract or standoutish, equipped with the seemingly endless possibility of musical exploration technology, all exaggerated and spread through all the promotion social media the 2010s granted us with, when will we simply find something that just can't get any more experimental? How many new genres or subgenres or stretching and breaking of music can we perform until the fossil fuels of musical originality simply run out and we cross over to the point of no return? A point where music is so experimental it's simply prided with nothing more than shock factor and an irony supplying its main mission. Or are we already there? Well, today, ladies and gents, we're going to be talking about an album that is split between the most experimental album some people have ever heard of and pure irony. I'm talking about this thing. This thing, when translated to English, called Liberated from the World by New Deluxe Life. I've had a bunch of people reach out to me asking me to talk about this album, review it, or at least just bring it up and give my thoughts about it. And to be honest, I never really listened to it until you guys recommended it to me, and it is a trip and a half. I knew it existed, but I never really sat down and committed myself to the 19 minutes of gut-wrenching, eardrum-shifting sound this album provides you with. But let's go more into it. I want to talk about how far has Vaporwave gone with this thing, and if it's gone too far, I guess. So we all know the Vaporwave genre is, without a doubt, one of these products that came out of this unique musical decade we find ourselves in. While most Vaporwave artists just try to create something catchy and tasty to listen to, some try to really break the rules, or just see how far they can create something so socially unacceptable it becomes like a piece of art. Or they're just doing it to simply create havoc by smashing together different loops, samples, drums, and just noise, and have a bunch of subconsciously pretentious music goers saying, I get it, I know it's supposed to be ironic, but I just find myself connecting to it. One album that comes to mind when thinking of albums like these that try to achieve this goal is The Darkest Future's Floral Shoppe 2. I've done a video on Floral Shoppe 2 in the past, and whether or not we can consider the album good or bad. However, Liberated from the World is by far the craziest thing I've ever experienced in the Vaporwave catalog, or maybe possibly music itself. Whatever the initial intentions New Deluxe Life had when making this album, it doesn't really matter. It's clearly something wild, and now listening to it after a couple of times, way more destructive, obnoxious, and just mind-scarring than Floral Shoppe 2 ever was. There are moments, though not many, of pattern, structuring, and conformity within the tracks of Floral Shoppe 2, but if you've ever listened to Liberated from the World, I think we can agree that this thing is just not music. So let's get that out of the way. Yes, music is subjective and in the ear of the beholder, no matter what sounds are coming out, I get it, but Liberated from the World is really just more of an audio piece expressing the ironies of the almost no-rules zone Vaporwave has blanketed us with after all these years, while trying to exploit the critiquing discussion and debate the Vaporwave community always seems to spark up about something that the artist might have only spent like 20 minutes making. So yeah, Liberated from the World and Floral Shoppe 2 are really the two big heavyweights, I think, that come to everyone's mind when we think of these albums that just try to be crazy and just wild. Interestingly enough, The Darkest Future, who was behind the creation of Floral Shoppe 2, made Floral Shoppe 2 as a response to Liberated from the World, with the intentions of trying to prove people listen to music just because of how it's presented and not necessarily for what it actually is musically. Trying to make Floral Shoppe 2 as ironic as possible, it once again proved his point, as some people did seem to find sanctuary and unavoidable curiosity within the sounds coming out of it, further presenting the question as if we can actually label something like this as music or just insignificant noise promoted by false intentions. He was originally going to call the album Liberated from the World 2, but decided to name it Floral Shoppe 2 due to the immense popularity Floral Shoppe had within the community. Why Floral Shoppe 2 instead? Because it was going to piss more people off and have more of an effect than it would if I had released it under the original name and cover. It's like I said, the whole concept of aesthetic presentation having such a strong effect on the music. So as for the characteristics of the track list on Liberated from the World, everything happens so quick and so erratically you can't even fathom or begin to predict where what sound would go next or anything like that. You'll never feel a bridge or a verse coming or a drop in the bass. It's a free-for-all, a war that sounds like it's taking place between the glitchy components of an eroded VHS tape trying to boot up after years of abandonment. Upon loading up the album and pressing play, you are pulling open a highly pressurized latch to thousands of sounds who have been trapped, dying to be released from this overly crowded hardware hellhole they've been stuck in for years. Yes, this album is pure irony, and it's a slap in the face of Vaporwave's seemingly boundless song structuring, but there is no doubt that this thing is unbelievably interesting to listen to. It just feels like something we were never meant or allowed to see, right? Some piece of forbidden lost media, scrapped and discovered at the bottom of some dark, murky, garbage-filled lake, and somehow just barely playable once putting it into the extinct and outdated hardware used to play it. There were moments at times on the album, to my surprise, where I would feel maybe some sort of beat or organization begin constructing, like on the third track, Black Star, White Star, Black Star, Prime Time, and then what translates to today's programming, Late Night, Black Star, White Star, Black Star. That's the name. We get this nice little intro hip-hop beat that's kind of hot, gotta say, it's definitely kind of hot, and it's being looped at this angle. It's a little slightly off, makes the measure pretty interesting and catchy, but nope, give this thing like 7 seconds and all of a sudden it gets hit with like a baseball bat and shatters into a billion pieces, and you're right back into this cyclone of the never-ending, chopping 10-speed grinding blender this album truly is. The fifth track, Heart, 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 Shibuya's Heart, 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 I don't know. We actually do get our first technically constructed song, I would say. This droopy, stressed out loop. Nothing less, nothing more, that isn't really anything too exciting and almost seems like this checkpoint for the album. A safe zone you found in the corner of the track list. It also kind of reminded me of the sewer theme from Paper Mario 64. The album advances, dragging you right back into the confusion with track 6, Update Your Life, New Deluxe Life. This track literally sounds like a PC Richard & Sons exploded and hardware is crashing into each other. A battlefield of plastic electronics hoping to not be the first to hit the floor and shatter. After adjusting my ears to the sporadic nature of the album and getting over that initial just what the hell is this vibe, I did begin to find myself craving the next track, ironically, wanting to see how wacky the upcoming track could get. And it's funny, especially making fun of these subconsciously pretentious music critiquers in the beginning of this video. Like I said, I was eventually finding myself connecting to this album. Maybe I'm just a pretentious music goer myself, overthinking everything that's going on, but hey, I was getting pretty zoned into what was being presented to me. It was like a car crash I did not want to look away from. The remaining tracks of the album still keep up with this theme of chaos in regard to its off-putting, off-time, and far from the norm, non-catchy sampling, but it does become a bit more quiet in its tone and almost sad sounding. Its hollow filters make this whole experience feel extremely empty. It's like the first half of the album is this sin trip, pure chaos and animalistic with no control to your conscious or intention, while the second half is a reflection and a realization, feeling guilty for something you must have done. Honestly, I had a great time listening to this album. I know I'll probably never listen to it again unless I want to test like some of my friends out and see how much they can handle, but I would definitely recommend checking it out at least once for just the wild ride that it is. How much can your ears handle of Release from the World? In speculation for the future, I do think we will eventually and inevitably see something even crazier come out. What that may be, I don't know yet, otherwise it wouldn't be too crazy and would have came out already, but it will definitely need to push boundaries beyond the audio itself. Something that is presented with more than just audio and album artwork. On Released from the World, we're simply given the hieroglyphic looking track list paired with the album artwork of Amuro Ray, the main character in the first Mobile Suit Gundam. I do think the character's emotion emphasizes these two feelings of intense animalistic chaos mixed with the regret, sorrow, and grieving that the track list provides. Whatever this dude is looking at seems to be really messing him up. But imagine an album coming out in the Vaporwave universe that has a sound even crazier than Released from the World. Something so larger than life. For example, something that requires more of a cryptic journey to discover. I love stuff like that. Or allowing some group of lucky winners to only have access to. Right? I would love to see some type of musical project be created that involves the community coming together, trying to find some piece of hidden music hidden deep within the internet, and possibly within the real world, who knows. Something similar to Boards of Canada's cryptic advertising campaign for their album Tomorrow's Harvest, which involved fans having to discover 6 six-digit passwords from various sources such as BBC Radio 1 and Adult Swim to unlock the music the album contained. With Vaporwave's contagious and mysterious aesthetic, I think a community-wide manhunt for some secret, deep, scary piece of music would be awesome. Or a song that, for example, is split into dozens of pieces and we must find all these audio clips throughout the internet and place them together to create the song. People would be claiming, oh, it's supposed to go this way or this way and whatnot. Released from the world is Vaporwave to the highest degree, right? The concept of music being quite possibly nothing without the accompanied aesthetic. And we're mice being used to test this vapor hypothesis. Released from the world is fueled by cheap thrills to the highest degree. Except it's performed with such considerable focus to no rhyme, reason, or fluidity that not knowing what comes next really does attract you in, wanting to listen to more. It's contagious, an audio parasite that once leaving your headphones burrows itself deep within your brain and tells you to keep going. Listen to the next track and see what happens. Is Released from the World the craziest album of all time? Has Vaporwave really gone that far? You be the judge. Let me know what you think. Much love, your boy, Pat Chennington.